Hello fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. This is Haley from Top 5 Choices, and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I am going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best travel cameras, 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use it for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. Nikon ZFC is an APS-C mirrorless camera that combines Nikon's new Z lens mount with looks and controls that recall the company's classic FM and FE series film SLRs. The ZFC is the second crop sensor Nikon camera to use the company's Z mount and is built around the same 20.9 MP sensor as the Nikon Z50, but it gains dedicated dials for ISO, shutter speed and exposure compensation to go with its throwback styling. Nikon says it's aiming the camera at a younger, style-conscious audience. The main thing that's new in the ZFC is its retro styling and control system based on dedicated control dials. The camera is designed to evoke Nikon's FM and FE series SLRs, but is also likely to be reminiscent of some of Fujifilm's digital cameras that reference the same era of SLR design, as well as Nikon's own DFD SLR from 2013. But despite the classic looks, the ZFC is a modern camera at heart, offering a few features that should ensure it's seen as more than just a prettified Z50. The ZFC is the first Z-mount camera to feature a fully articulating rear LCD. This means that it can be rotated all the way forward for vlogging, working nicely in conjunction with the video IAF function, and also means the screen can be folded in to face the back of the camera to protect the LCD panel when traveling, also aiding on-the-go photographers. The ZFC has a USB-C socket on its side which can be used to power the camera, as well as to charge the battery. It's a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Superspeed, aka USB 3.0, interface, which should mean it's significantly faster at data transfer than the Z50 sockets is. The Sony ZV-1 is a 20MP compact camera geared towards vlogging. It has a new and novel directional microphone next to the flash hot shoe, and there's a fully articulating touchscreen display. The ZV-1 shoots in 4K up to 30p and Full HD up to 120p and features a 24 to 70mm equivalent f1.8-2.8 lens. Although the Sony ZV-1 is designed specifically with vloggers in mind, it's quite capable as a conventional compact stills camera too. If you're a hybrid shooter who is interested in capturing both video and stills, but doesn't want to carry around two cameras, the ZV-1 has a lot to offer. The ZV-1's ergonomics might seem a little quirky at first, but are fairly intuitive once you start shooting. There's a modest grip on the right-hand side and it's comfortable to use when shooting in selfie mode or a standard shooting position. When you are shooting with the camera held out at arm's length with the lens facing yourself, you can control the zoom rocker with your thumb and use your index finger to hit record or release the shutter. The ability to easily swap between shooting videos and stills is one of the greatest assets of the ZV-1, made easier if you are using the memory recall functions in the camera. These let you customize banks of settings that include your shooting mode, auto, PSM, video and so on, exposure settings, image or video quality settings, and quickly swap between them. The ZV-1's included fuzzy mic windscreen does an excellent job of cutting down on distracting wind noise when recording video, but unfortunately it also covers up the on-off button on the camera. On the back of the camera you'll find the camera's single control ring, which is the only way to adjust shutter speed and aperture while shooting. It's not that bad if you're using the ZV-1 to capture stills, but can be cumbersome for vloggers since the only adjustments that can be made using the touchscreen are for focus. So if you want to adjust anything other than your AF area, you'll have to flip the camera back around. The ZV-1 offers impressive image quality. While shooting, I tended to keep it set to ISO auto with a range of ISO 125-6400. There's a large 3.0-inch touchscreen on the rear of the camera, although it sits flush with the body and can't be angled outwards, while the Lumix ZS200/TZ200 follows on from the Lumix ZS100/TZ100 and sports a built-in electronic viewfinder, EVF. This gets a small bump up in resolution over its predecessor, but it still feels pretty small and claustrophobic to look through, so while it's handy for composing shots in bright sunlight, the rest of the time you'll find yourself using the Excellent rear display for hassle-free photography. There's a range of auto modes and features, but the Lumix ZS200/TZ200 also features more advanced controls too, including aperture priority and shutter priority modes, as well as full manual control. There's also raw capture to help achieve the best quality results from your images, while the handy control will round the lens offers quick adjustment for a range of settings. If you want to capture videos on your travels, the Lumix ZS200/TZ200 features 4K capture up to 30p, while Panasonic's 4K photo mode lets users extract single still frames from 4K burst files shot at 30 frames per second before saving them as 8MP equivalent images. Despite the extra reach of its lens over the Lumix ZS100/TZ100, the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV is the entry-level model in the company's DSLR-style lineup of micro Four Thirds cameras. The pen models, such as the EPL10, are rangefinder style. It's a step up from the beginner-focused EPL series, offering more controls, better build quality and a broader feature set. It sports a 20MP 4/3 sensor, in-body image stabilization, flip-down touchscreen with a simple interface and 4K video capture. Olympus swapped out the tilting display on the EM10 III for one that flips down 180 degrees for taking selfies. Unfortunately, the downward tilting design means the display is either blocked by or potentially even fouled by both tripods and selfie sticks, so framing handheld is your only option. When the 3-inch, 1.04 million dot display is flipped down, the camera switches into a selfie mode, which puts virtual shutter release, movie capture and brightness, exposure comp buttons on the screen. There's also a button that turns on a 2-second self-timer that takes 3 photos in a row, and in auto mode, a new one-touchy portrait button that yields artificially smoothed, plasticky-looking skin. A useful addition is USB charging, something that has been missing from lower-end Olympus cameras for far too long. It takes hours to fully charge the battery, but being able to top up on the road is a must-have these days. We wish Olympus still included an external charger. Olympus has also added a new Live View Boost mode that can make both focusing and framing in low-light conditions much easier. The EM10 III's Live View Boost function merely boosted viewfinder gain, but on the EM10 IV it can optionally reduce the frame rate significantly as well. This allows a significantly brighter viewfinder image, at the expense of some jerkiness. Under a plastic door on the bottom of the camera you'll find the EM10 IB's battery and memory card compartment. Fujifilm's X-S10 is a 26MP interchangeable lens camera that shoots high-quality 4K video and comes with a deep grip and a different, though excellent, control scheme than most other Fujifilm cameras. The company describes the X-S10 as a cross between the company's X-T30 and the X-H1 cameras. You get the guts from the former and the design and in-body image stabilization feature, in a new miniaturized form, from the latter. The X-S10 camera is targeted toward both beginning and experienced users who may have Canon or Nikon DSLRs and want something a little more familiar than a typical Fujifilm camera. And, with a price of $999 for the body, $100 more than the X-T30, it's not necessarily out of reach for that audience. Being a smaller camera, it's no surprise that the X-T4's IBIS unit wasn't going to fit into the X-S10. So, the company designed a new one that is 30% smaller and lighter than the X-T4's. A new motion sensor makes the unit more efficient, and the X-S10 has a redesigned circuit board that reduces power consumption. There's a very small difference in stabilization performance on the X-S10 versus the X-T4, just half a stop. It offers 6 stops of shake reduction on all unstabilized Fujifilm lenses save for the X-F16 to 55mm f2.8, which weighs in at 5.5 stops. Most stabilized Fujifilm lenses vary from 5.5 to 6 stops, save for the X-F80mm macro, which offers 5 stops. These differences primarily have to do with how much coverage the lens offers outside the sensor area, not necessarily whether the lenses have their own stabilization. Those who stick to auto and scene modes will gain a few new features. The X-S10 now has an autofilm simulation mode which will select between Provia, Standard, Velvia, Vivid, and Astia, Soft, depending on the scene. Users can still manually select any of the film simulation modes offered. In our testing, the camera seemed to err on the side of selecting Provia, at least with portrait shooting.